All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
Good afternoon. Happy Monday. Another week of PGA Tour, DFS, PGA Tour content, and everything in between. Chipman Nation is not going to take any weeks off. Outside of the Zurich, we might take the Zurich off. But hopefully you guys aren't feeling too much of a major hangover. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Like your final overall take, scale of 1 to 10, US Open, Shinnecock. I'm giving it a strong 8.8. A strong 8.8. I thought it was drama till the end, a lot of fun. We saw different days, different types of scoring. We saw a low round or two. We saw some carnage. You can't beat it in my opinion. Yeah, like is the occasional plus one winning score 2018 Shinnecock cool? We weren't going to get that. We were not going to get that. What was the winning score? 5 under, 4 under. I thought it was going to be 4 under before the week started. Nailed the handicap. So hopefully you guys cashed in some regard. I didn't have my best DFS or betting week, but it was a great watch. So nonetheless, I am happy. Ready to talk Travelers Championship. TPC River Highlands, a golf course we see year in, year out. A golf course we are very, very, very familiar with. So instead of going through the full thread, 32 tweets, I think it was, very basic handicap. I just want to go through the spike numbers. What the top 5 on the leaderboard did, not at the Travelers Championship, what they did leading into the Travelers Championship, because I think lead-in form is more telling than just a one-off what you did in a given week, because you could do anything in a given week. If you're doing something consistently for weeks leading up, I think that's a better way to predict golf courses. So let's bring the screen up and talk some lead-in form, some spike stuff, some stuff from TBC River Highlands. So last year's top 10 finishers, their last 10 starts entering the Travelers Championship, accuracy versus the field average, and approach play. Plus, there's spikes in those regards. A spike is defined as a 5% or greater threshold in terms of accuracy or distance, or a +4 strokes gained metric. So Keegan Bradley, winner last year, his 10 starts leading in, he was positive in accuracy. This is driving accuracy, by the way, 5 out of 10 times, and he spiked 5 times in that regards. Approach was much more solid, 8 out of 10 for spikes. Tommy, 7 positive accuracy driving weeks leading in, 9 positive approach weeks leading in with some spikes there. Russ, more positive driving, more positive approach, 9 in each category, absolute machine. Harris English, 6 out of 10 positive accuracy driving weeks, 7 out of 10 positive approach weeks leading in. Jason Day, not the strongest profile here. Only 3 accuracy positives, 1 spike, and 7 out of 10 approach positive. So you could see the accuracy and the approach leading in is very, very, very correlative to success. That's kind of what we're looking for. And that's not rocket science, guys. That's what we see at TPC River Highlands year in, year out. Hit fairways, hit greens, make some putts. This is a TPC golf course, not the most difficult handicap in the world, but let's take a look at some of the winning scores, weather, and everything in between. So last few years, we saw Keegan win at 15 and 23, Scotty at 22, Xander at 19, Harris at 13, DJ at 19. We haven't seen much rain leading into the week over in Hartford, Connecticut, in Cromwell, Connecticut to be exact. But we're going to get some rain on Tuesday morning. It's looking like from midnight to 10 a.m. and a little bit in the afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to get some rain. Not the most amount of rain in the world. They should be able to keep the golf course how they want it to. And then again on Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Saturday going to be a little heavier, it looks like, as well. So expect some rain, maybe a few delays. Damn it, I lost the forecast. Let's bring it back up. But in terms of the week-long forecast, winds, Thursday, it looks like it's going to be really, really calm. Expect for the first round leader to come from this AM group because the wind's going to pick up in the afternoon. Friday, it looks somewhat similar all day, so maybe a potential AM-PM split. I'll call it 0.4 strokes AM-PM split this week. Saturday, it looks pretty calm all day, and then Sunday, maybe in the PM, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We'll have better weather forecast for the weekend once we get into the showdown stuff. But that is the weather. In terms of contest selection for the week, I am loving this. PGA Tour 25K driving range, 5 entry max, 150 for each entry. You can enter that 5 times. That is, what's 150 times 5? 5 times 150 equals 750. I didn't know basic math, so I had to use my calculator. Nonetheless, if you're entering this 5 times, 185 entrants, if every person were to enter this contest 5 times, that would mean it'd be you versus 36 other people. If you enter this 5 times, you have massive overlay because I can promise you not everybody is going to enter this contest 5 times. If you have 5 lineups, you got to be in it to win it. You have more chances to win. Why not finish first? Why not have 2 from 8th to 10th? Bang. There's 6K right there. You only entered 750. I think this is a great payout structure. 10th place gets that 10%. This is beautiful. I think it's a nice small enough contest. Only have to beat 36 other people, if including the overlay. I love it. I absolutely love this contest for tomorrow. I mean, sorry for this week. Looking at the selection, looking at the pricing, Scotty leads the way. Tommy, Xander, and Matt Fitz all over 10K. And then we get a little bit of a drop from especially Cameron Young. Cameron Young back in the 9K range. See some other golfers getting a little bit of a drop. Only goes down to 6K with Brian Campbell, Lucas Glover, Johnny Vegas. First golfer I wanted to look on in this range is Tommy Fleetwood. 10,300. Tommy finished, who could forget? Tommy, I guess, blowing this event last year. He played so well over the weekend, only to miss a very, very short putt, lose 2.5 strokes to the field on Sunday to lose this event. Oh, Tommy. Oh, Tommy. But this is about the time of the summer last year where Tommy became TPC Tommy. It felt like every TPC golf course he played after this mark, he was like in contention. Coming off of another T11, that's T4, T11, T11 in 3 straight starts. Tommy is back in order after maybe a little bit of a mediocre stretch from the PGA Championship to the Masters. But Tommy is back in order, gaining strokes in all 4 categories, all greening. That's exactly what you want to see Tommy Fleetwood doing. And I love it again. I think his floor is so high. I don't see how Tommy finishes worse than like 10th in this event. And at 10.3, is that his price? 10.3? Yeah. Come on. I think it's a great price for Tommy Fleetwood. The next golfer I wanted to look at down the board comes at $8,600. Chris Gotterup. Chris Gotterup, $8,600, had another nice ball striking week, and the around the green play has just been killing him. He's doing what we want him to do, though. Driving it well, hitting nice approach shots, and gaining strokes putting. Chris Gotterup has not lost strokes putting since Riviera. That is quite the stretch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 straight starts in which Chris Gotterup has gained strokes on the green. That is not common. Golfers just don't get. Golfers have great putters all the time. But even the best putters have a week off where they're losing 0.7 strokes. That's 9 straight. I just said 9 straight weeks of Chris Gotterup gaining strokes on the greens, and we know he can hit that low burner. He's obviously a mega long driver, but he can hit that low burner. He can hit fine fairways. Do what he did at the Sony Open. I'm not saying like Sony Open. I was all about bombing gouging, even though it was like a positional golf course. I don't see that around Sawgrass, but I trust Chris Gotterup to dial it down a little bit and hit fairways if he needs to. So $8,600, gaining strokes on approach. What he's doing on the putting greens, sign me up. Strokes gained northeast, I'm in to Chris Gotterup at $8,600. Next thing I want to touch on is a little bit of site information. So first of all, you are going to use this code, Boots, get you free access to everything up here. So you can see this new slate station we have. It's going to be myself, Tambo, and Hoop getting their picks up, their core, as well as the slate breakdown, ownership thoughts, roster thoughts, my outright selections, and a ton of other stuff. DraftKings course fit rankings. We have the showdown information. Obviously, that's later in the week. We have the projections, the Stone 2.0. All of this stuff, can get it all for free with code BOOTS. You're going to go right here. Oh, no, maybe we're not. Maybe we're not going to go right here. No, we are going to go right here. Join the nation. Join the nation. You can get all access to every single sport. Code Boots works on any of these. You just want the golf stuff, you go to single sport, PGA plus content. You want the optimizer, bang, right here, Code Boots. Get it, get SaberSim. Help us help you, because everyone in this Discord is using the SaberSim stuff. It is so helpful, so impressive, and I definitely recommend. So next thing I want to do is touch on the betting board. Scotty Scheffler leads the way, no surprise, at 4.5 to 1. Xander, Tommy, Ludwig, Cam, Matt, Fitz. First thing I wanted to touch on comes this 20 range. Siwoo Kim, 23.5 to 1. Right here. It's some nice ball striking from Siwoo Kim, even though he did miss the cut at Shinnecock. Hit the ball really well. Gained 4 strokes on approach in just 2 rounds. Some tough short game from Siwoo Kim. It was minus 4.5 strokes about short game. We know his short game has been really solid outside of that. And this is a much better course for Siwoo Kim. Even though it doesn't have the greatest course history in the world, we know what I almost called him Pete Dye. We know what Siwoo Kim does at Pete Dye tracks, and we know what he does at TPC tracks. I think he's going to bounce back. He hasn't putted great here, but the putter's been really solid this year and has been solid recently outside of last week. So I like Siwoo Kim around this 24, 23 to 1 range. I think it's a great selection. I think he's played so damn well this year to not pay it off for something. I think he can get into the mix, and I think Siwoo Kim is a great selection this week. Second name I wanted to touch on goes down the board a little bit longer. Why is this guy 54 to 1? PGA champion, finished 11th at the U.S. Open, gained strokes in every single category, and we're talking about a course, driving accuracy and approach. That is exactly what Aaron Rai does. He's played this golf course 3 times, never missed a cut. I know there's sometimes no cut, but the approach play has been weird. Aaron Rai's approach play has been green since Sawgrass. I know Sawgrass asks you kind of similar questions to this golf course, but I don't see a world in which Aaron Rai really loses too many strokes on approach here. He's hitting the ball too well. He makes too much sense for this golf course, and I think at 55 to 1, you could do a lot worse than Aaron Rai. So that's who I'm looking at in terms of the betting board. Siwoo Kim, Aaron Rai. DFS plays, I like Chris Gotterup. I like Tommy Fleetwood at the top. The next thing I want to do is touch on a chalky golfer, a potential pivot, and then the one golfer that I am on as always. So a potential chalky golfer, who do I think is going to come in maybe a little bit more owned than they have been recently, maybe a little bit more owned than I think they should be. That is Collin Morikawa. Collin Morikawa, nice week at the U.S. Open. Gained just under 6 strokes ball striking, T17, bad chipping week, putted tremendously. A nice week for Collin Morikawa. He's played decent here. He always makes sense on paper here, but he hasn't really panned out. I think seeing Collin Morikawa at $9,200, it's more the price plus what he just did at Shinnecock, which doesn't scream Collin Morikawa, is going to have him being more chalky than he probably should be. So Collin Morikawa, chalky golfer of the week. Next thing I want to do is the pivot of the week. Now, like I always say, does this mean that this golfer is a pivot off of Collin Morikawa? No. I'm saying this golfer is a pivot in the range that they are in, and that is Viktor Hovland, $8,500. If you look at the pricing, Viktor Hovland is between Chris Gotterup, coming off of an okay week, but Chris Gotterup's a trendy name, defending champion Keegan Bradley. I think Viktor Hovland gets squeezed out because he played poorly last week, missed the cut, but just before that, finished solo third at the Canadian Open. The approach play is still there. I trust him to figure out that driver. And the dude is a grinder. The dude is a great player. He can pop at a moment's notice. He withdrew last year after 3 rounds with an injury, but he was gaining 8.2 strokes on approach. I am so in on Viktor Hovland in like a bounce back spot. $8,500 when he might be not that chalky either. Where is he on the betting board even? Viktor Hovland is 41 to 1. Like, come on. This dude wins too often, too high a rate to be at the price and at the number that he is at. So Viktor Hovland, 41 to 1 is the pivot of the week for me. Next thing I want to touch on before we get to the one golfer I am on is the model. Every single week we try to find ways to win. The model has been a little bit weak to us recently, but I think we're due for a nice little bounce back. 110 to 1 Sep. I mean, it's about time for Sep to pop. I feel like he was most tipped, like a month in a row at one point this season, and then he didn't do anything. 110-1. I'm in on set. RS Kellogg. Let's do it. All right. Model of the week. We have posted on Twitter, but if you didn't see it, we have Scotty number 1, tied for second, Viktor and Siwoo. 4th and 5th, Collin Morikawa, Russell Henley. 6th, tied for 6th, Aaron Rai, Alex Fitzpatrick, and Ludwig Aubert. And then 9th, JJ Spawn and Brant Snedeker. As you can see, the model was accuracy plus birdie or better percentage, approach plus birdie or better percentage, wedges, approach and accuracy, course history, and birdie or better percentage. We made 15 models, aggregated it into one model, and this is what we got. So that's what we got here. The one golfer that I am on for this week has not been mentioned, is not in the model at all, but that is Akshay Bhatia. Akshay Bhatia played pretty well in this event last year, 2 years ago, ended up finishing T5, just could not get anything going in round 4 last year, playing with Scotty and Tom Kim in threes, but he had his best ball striking week. What is that? Just under 5 strokes ball striking. His best ball striking week since Sawgrass, which is a golf course he played really well at. I like him at TPC River Highlands. I like him when driving accuracy is important. I like him when the winds aren't too high, and they're not too high. So Akshay Bhatia is the one golfer that I am on. As always, the song of the day for the week before we get out of here is going to be Echo by Starset. Definitely go check it out. A nice little banger there. So that does it. That is the first look. We will be back Thursday afternoon with the showdown content. Any questions, you guys know where to find me. As always, let's ship it. Peace out.